So, the smoke alarm, what happened?
Oh man, I just knew we were going to start with this today.
We have to. It is the literal elephant in the room. Or
Mhm.
the smell in the kitchen, I guess.
It still smells, by the way. I mean, it's
Yeah.
been days and it still smells.
Wow. Welcome to the Deep Dive, everybody, where we share real conversations and real English every single day.
Every day.
And usually, we look at complex sociological trends or big news stories. But today, we are doing a deep dive into a very personal disaster.
My disaster.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because this Tuesday night, you attempted a new recipe.
I did, despite knowing better.
And I just want to say, as a setup for the listeners, I only got one single photo from you this week, just a picture of the aftermath. And my only reply to that text was just, wow.
Which was fair. It was a very fair reaction to what was in that pot.
I am so ready to hear this full story live because from a psychological perspective and honestly a physics perspective, I have questions. So where did this even start?
Right. Okay, so it started with a text message from our mutual friend, Marcus.
Oh, no. Oh, Marcus.
Yeah, and
For you listening, you need to understand something about Marcus. He is what we call a chaos agent.
a chaos agent with really good intentions.
Good intentions, sure, but terrible judgment. Remember the gym story? He recommended that pre-workout powder to you last year?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I was literally vibrating for 3 days. I couldn't sleep. I could see sounds.
Right. So he has a track record. Why on earth would you trust a recipe from him?
Because of the text. The text literally said, quote, "Bro, this is so easy. Make this tonight."
So social proof overrode your historical data.
Exactly. I was hungry. It was a Tuesday. The promise of an easy dinner was it was too tempting. I fell for the optimism bias. I really thought, this time it's going to be different.
And what was your mindset going into the kitchen?
My exact thought was, how hard could it be?
Famous last words. Oh my goodness. How hard could it be? Is basically the verbal signal for the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Yep. High confidence, zero confidence.
Okay, so take me through the timeline. You walk into the kitchen, high confidence, you have the digital recipe on your phone. What is mistake number one?
Mistake number one was the preparation, or the complete lack of it. I read the first 3 steps, saw that they looked pretty simple, and I just started cooking.
You didn't read the rest of the recipe.
I did not.
Why? It's not a mystery novel. You don't have to worry about spoilers.
I know, but I wanted to get moving. In professional kitchens, they have that rule, right? Mise en place.
Everything in its place,
Yeah.
yes. You prep and measure before you apply heat.
Right. Well, I was doing a just-in-time manufacturing method, which is a really bad idea when you're dealing with a chemical reaction you can't control.
Because your cognitive load goes through the roof. You're trying to read step 4 while the onions are burning in step 3.
Which leads perfectly to mistake number 2. I get to step 4, and the pan is sizzling, and I realize I am completely missing a key ingredient.
Oh boy. So what did you do?
I decided to improvise. Yeah. I found something in the pantry that, at least to me, seemed similar in texture, so I just dumped it in.
Was it similar chemically?
In hindsight, absolutely not. Not even close.
You can't just swap functional agents in cooking. If a recipe needs an acid and you throw in a base, you are fundamentally altering the equation in the pan.
I was satisficing. Okay. The pan was hot, I was stressed, and I just picked the first thing that looked good enough to solve the immediate problem.
Okay, speaking of the pan being hot, what did the recipe actually say for the heat setting?
Step 6 called for medium heat.
And what did you use?
High heat.
Why?
Because I was really hungry. And I did the math in my head. If medium heat takes 10 minutes, high heat will take 5.
That is the linear fallacy. That is not how thermodynamics works.
I learned that the hard way.
Heat takes time to travel from the outside of the food to the inside. If you just blast it, you get this massive thermal gradient. The outside goes straight past browning into full carbonization. Yes, burning. While the inside is totally raw, so you didn't cook it faster, you just ruined it sooner.
I ruined it much sooner. Things started smoking fast. Which brings us to mistake number 4, the panic fix.
What did you do?
The pan was smoking, things were sticking, so I tried to save it by throwing water in the pan.
Oh my gosh. Into hot oil.
Yeah, and I acknowledge now, out loud, that you should not add water to that.
No. Depending on the heat, that is catastrophic. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, but burning oil is way hotter.
Oh, it was hot.
So when the water hits it, it instantly flashes into steam. And steam expands by a factor of like 1,700. It literally throws the burning oil into the air.
Thankfully, I didn't get a fireball, but I got a massive hiss. and just a cloud of steam and smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And that is when alarm number 1 goes off.
The first smoke alarm.
The first one. So now I'm scrambling. I'm opening windows. I'm grabbing an old magazine and furiously fanning the alarm on the ceiling.
Did you turn off the stove?
No.
You kept cooking.
I kept cooking. It was the sunk cost fallacy. I had already invested so much time and ego into this meal. Turning off the stove meant admitting defeat. So I pushed through.
Even though the objective data, the smoke, the noise is screaming at you to abort.
Exactly. I thought I could still salvage it. Which brings us to mistake number 5, impatience.
Let me guess. Step 8.
Step 8, cover with lid and simmer for 20 minutes.
Finally, a chance to rest. The system is closed.
Right, but I didn't rest. I checked it every 2 minutes.
You lifted the lid.
Every 2 minutes. I just had to see if it was working.
You should never lift the lid. A simmering pot is a closed thermodynamic system. The lid traps the heat and moisture. When you lift it, you lose all the latent heat of vaporization. You are basically resetting the cooking time every time you peak.
I know. My anxiety completely overrode physics. I needed reassurance, but the checking was the exact thing destroying the meal. So the smoke alarm goes off a second time.
Oh, no.
And this time, there was a knock at the door.
The neighbor.
The neighbor. She came over to check if I was alive.
Okay, picture this for me. You open the door.
I opened the door. And there is just visible, thick smoke billowing behind me into the hallway, like a dry ice machine at a rock concert.
And what do you say to her?
I looked her dead in the eye and said, "Everything is fine."
You did not.
I did.
While smoke is actively pouring out of your apartment.
Yes. I kind of shifted my body to block her view of the kitchen and just insisted it was totally normal.
That is amazing. That is textbook impression management. The social drive to appear competent is so strong that you will verbally deny literal visible smoke.
I feared her judgment way more than I feared the fire, to be honest.
We would literally rather choke on toxic fumes than admit we ruined dinner. Did she look convinced?
Not even a little bit. She slowly backed away. But eventually reality won. I closed the door, walked over, looked at the pot, and realized the situation was just not recoverable.
Not recoverable. That's a heavy realization.
Yeah. The carbon bombs were broken. It was just a black, sticky mess. I gave up.
And what was the solution?
I ordered a large pepperoni pizza.
The universal safety net. And that's when you took the photo and sent it to me.
Right. And ate pizza while watching TV, trying to ignore the smell, which, as I mentioned, was still there the next morning.
Did you text Marcus?
Oh, of course. I texted him a picture of the failure. And you know what he replied?
What?
Weird, it worked for me.
Oh, of course he did. That is the survivor bias of the chaos agent. Just because a bad process worked once doesn't mean it's the good process. He probably just got lucky.
Never confuse luck with a repeatable process.
Exactly. Which actually brings me to my philosophy on cooking, because I avoid this kind of stress entirely.
Oh, I know you do. Tell the listeners about your rule.
I call it the rule of 4.
It's so rigid.
It's reliable. I make exactly 4 things. Only those 4 things. Always.
It's a reliance on standard operating procedures.
Yes. By limiting the variables, I achieve high reliability. I don't have any cognitive load when I cook because I've mastered those 4 meals on autopilot.
But isn't that limiting? Where is the culinary discovery?
That's what restaurants are for. My goal is sustenance without stress. And I have another rule that would have saved you, the Tuesday rule.
Right, the Tuesday rule.
Never, ever try a new recipe on a Tuesday night.
Because the buffer capacity is low.
Exactly. Tuesday night, after a full day of work, you are fatigued, your decision-making is compromised, you do not test a new, unverified system when your energy is low.
Save the Marcus recipes for Saturday.
Exactly. When you have the mental bandwidth to deal with the fire department if you need to, treat a text from Marcus as a warning sign, not a dinner plan.
Message received. Okay, well, let's transition slightly.
Yeah, let's move to the language focus for today. Did you catch that? We try to pull out some key English expressions from the story that you can use in your own life.
Hopefully not in the exact same context I used them.
Let's hope not. The first one we talked about was the phrase, how hard could it be?
Right. If you hear yourself saying this right before you try something new, take a pause.
It's what we call famous last words. It's a phrase people use when they are drastically underestimating a task.
If you are about to fix your car's engine or cut your own hair and you say, "How hard could it be?" stop immediately.
It implies a lack of respect for the complexity of the situation. So it's a great conversational phrase to use jokingly before you do something risky.
The second expression is to improvise.
Yes. Definition-wise, to improvise means doing something without the right materials, or just making it up as you go along.
Like me swapping out a crucial ingredient for a random powder I found in the pantry.
Exactly. Improvisation is great in jazz music. It's great in comedy.
But it is very dangerous in chemistry and cooking. Unless you actually know the underlying rules of what you're doing, improvising is just guessing.
And the final expression from your disaster, it's not recoverable.
This is an important one. It means something is too far gone to fix. There is no saving it.
In business, they might call it a kill decision. You have to recognize when the cost of trying to fix the mistake is worse than just throwing it away.
The pot was black. Scrubbing it would take hours. Eating it would be dangerous. It was not recoverable.
Don't fall for the sunk cost fallacy. Be willing to look at a mess, declare it not recoverable, and just order the pizza.
Order the pizza.
So we have a challenge for you listening this week.
Oh, I like this.
We want you to use the phrase, how hard could it be, this week, right before you try something new.
Just try not to burn your house down.
Right, keep it safe. But use the phrase, try the new thing, and then tell us how it went. Hit us up on our Instagram page at Just Johnny and Sophie.
We really want to hear your famous last words.
We do. But before we sign off, I want to leave you with a final thought. A little something extra to chew on.
Better than chewing on my Tuesday dinner.
Definitely. So we laughed a lot today about human nature. Specifically, that moment you opened the door for your neighbor and said, everything is fine, while the room was literally filling with smoke.
Impression management at its finest.
But think about how often we do that in life, beyond the kitchen. We are so afraid of judgment, so desperate to appear totally competent to the outside world that we will deny the fire right behind us.
We really will.
Why is it so hard to just look at our neighbor or our friends and say, actually, I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing and everything is on fire?
Because that requires vulnerability. And vulnerability is a lot scarier than a little bit of smoke.
Exactly. So maybe this week, if your kitchen metaphorically or literally catches fire, try admitting it. Let the neighbor see the mess. It's a lot less exhausting than pretending everything is fine.
I like that. I will try to be more vulnerable with my burnt cookware next time.
Good. Well, that is it for this deep dive.
Stay safe out there, everyone. Check the batteries in your smoke alarms.
And we will see you in the next one.